Hello, how you doing everyone? He's Ari. Welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. This is the final video. This is the last word where we're going to be talking about the game, lineups. We'll get a clip from one or other of the lads and we'll take a look at the league table. Yes, hello everyone. How he's doing? This is the wrap up of all of today's videos where Newcastle have now gone 6 games. 6 without any win. Where's the next win coming from? I don't know. Is it going to be Arsenal, the FA Cup? Is it the Sheffield United one? Are you worried? Because you should be. Because this is a little bit alarming, the way Newcastle are going about the business. Granted, in those 6 games, we've got a great point against Liverpool. But apart from that, it's not looking great at the minute, is it, as a Newcastle fan? So before we crack up with the game, we'll have a look at the lineup. Sorry, my throat is really bad. So let's take a look at Leicester's side. This is how they line up. Very strong, isn't it? 4-2-3-1. You look at the top there, Jamie Vardy, who scores goals for fun against Newcastle. Didn't today, thankfully. And then you've got the creativity with Maddison, who was brilliant today. You've got Tielemans, who sits a little bit further back. He was one of the best players for Leicester, in my opinion. Albrighton on the wing. Yeah, you've got Barnes, who obviously has got pace to burn. He's improving year in, year out. Fofana, the new centre-backs. It looks absolutely brilliant, keeping Soyuncu out as well. Probably a little bit weaker on the wing, on the full-back situation with Castagna and Justin, but overall, very, very strong. And obviously a goalkeeper we all know about in Kasper Schmeichel. So when I seen that lineup, I thought to myself, right, okay, it's a strong side. What are you going to go with, Steve Bruce? Are you going to rotate? What formation? Are you going to play? Are you going to surprise us? But you only actually done 2 changes from the side that picked up a great point against Liverpool. I'm just going to stop the tick at the bottom here. The reason being is because you can see the bench there. So it was Murphy, Manquillo, Kraft, Hendrick, Gale, Shelvey, Carroll, Dummett, and Dubravka. So those were your bench. Obviously, Dubravka, we're predicting that he'll play in the FA Cup game, but Murphy comes out the side. Shelvey again on the bench. Obviously, he's a foul for the second goal, which we'll come back to. Dwight Gale can't even get a look in. I think Dwight Gale just needs to move from the club, in all honesty. Obviously, Andy Carroll will talk about him in a moment, but not the strongest bench. But then you look at the lineup and think yourself, well, we're going with wing-backs. I can understand that he goes with wing-backs. I'm not a huge fan of it, if I'm being brutally honest, but I can understand because it's worked well. The performances have been better the last game and a half, perhaps, you might say. Sean came in for Matty, but obviously because Isaac Hayden was suspended. It was interesting to see how those two, I've got the hiccups now, apologies, my throat is really bad. The 2 long staffs in midfield, Miggy on the right, I just didn't get that. I really did not get why Miggy Almiron is playing on the right-hand side. He's got no right foot. And I know you should say that all footballers nowadays should be comfortable with both feet, but this lad isn't. He keeps cutting back. Yes, he's won with a couple of free kicks with his pace, but he turns. If there's nothing in front of him, he turns and the ball comes backwards. Whereas saint-maximin, he'll go on himself. He'll try and be brave, and maybe ESM will win us a corner or a free kick or a throw in or what have you, or even better, go on and score. But Joel Almiron's not that type of player. And Joe Little on the left hand side, I was just puzzled by it because you're playing 2 players there who are effectively not effective, because he could play Almiron on the left and he could have played Murphy on the right. So there's a few things you can pick at regarding the lineup. I wasn't too pleased. Obviously, I know the situation. There's a few players who are still missing at the moment, but of course, I want to know what you think, of course. If you could please like the video, that'll be lovely. We'll read your comments out towards the end as well, so please keep your comments coming in. I'll read them at the end of the video because this is the last one of tonight, so do please keep the comment and please like the video. Moving on to the game then. Okay, so yeah, the last couple of games against Liverpool and City, we've started off the better side, but it was changed around a little bit, wasn't it? You've seen Jamie Vardy had a goal disallowed when he went round Darlow and put it at the back of that. He finished it brilliantly, mate, I have to say, but it was rightly given offside, and the signs were there in the first half that it was all Leicester having a lot of the ball. That doesn't surprise you. Leicester dominating possession, but what could Newcastle do with the ball? It was very, very little going forward, which is concerning, because Wilson, I felt today, although Wilson did have a lot of the build-up play. He was involved in it. Ideally, you want Wilson in and around the box. Several times during today, Wilson was laying it out wide, and he couldn't get himself into the box because he's the one creative. And it's the first time for me anyway. You guys might be different. This is the first time that I've seen this season, that Wilson's coming deeper, wanting the ball to have a little bit more interaction. Whether it's attacked by Bruce as a one-off in this game, I don't know. But if you think about the crosses from Yedlin, put in a hell of a cross. Remember Yedlin's cross? Wilson wasn't there because he was in the build-up. Matty Longstaff on the right-hand side, Wilson laid him off. Shelby, when he came on the left-hand side, low cross, Wilson just wasn't there for any of those three. And that's where you feel like if you had another striker up top, that might have been different. But because he's in the build-up, he couldn't get on the end of those, and he would have loved to be on the end. So I think going forward, that's when Newcastle lacked a little bit today for me. Let me know what you think as well. Joe Litton on the left-hand side, I'm not keen on it. And I'm just really not keen. I know the lad gets a lot of stick anyway, but I think if you're going to play, if you look at the left wing situation, obviously ASM, we understand, is suffering from longer COVID situations, which is fine, right? Okay. You've got Matt Ritchie, who you could move there. He's natural left-sided. You've got Miguel Miron, who is left-footed, who could probably do a job there. I just think there's a few area problems now. When Newcastle mentioned this in the score of the players, I think Newcastle's problem areas currently at the moment is the right wing situation, the left wing situation. I also feel centre midfield is starting to become a lot more of an issue. I think there's a problem at right back, which we all know about. And I also think Jamal Lewis needs more competition. I know Lewis is out of today's game. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that might be a knock. But there's 4 or 5 that I've named there, and you can't, obviously, I don't think it'll be January to fix that. Of course not. However, I think Newcastle need to get a couple of bodies out before we bring them in. Apologies, my throat's really bad. So, we're going to hear a clip from Carl before we talk about the second half. Here's Carl.
Thanks, Lee. Another disappointing result. Did I expect to go in and beat Leicester? No. Did we roll over? Maybe in the second half a bit. So I'm not as frustrated as I have been in the past, but I just feel like we haven't got a plan B. Steve Bruce has brought on Andy Carroll, and he has got a goal, which is great, but we need to shore up at so many positions at the moment. 2 full-back positions definitely need cover. Definitely at right back. I think we need to go and get Jetro at left back. I know people seem to think that may not happen, but we need someone like that, like a Jetro Williams at left back. And then we need to go and get someone like Tavernier or Kevin Mbabu at right back as well, because we're seriously lacking in depth at the 2 full-back positions. We need some creativity in the midfield. Myself and Adam spoke about in the watch along. We need that kind of Kabay-esque sort of player to be able to unlock the defences and give Callum Wilson something to work with. And I think we need someone. We might need another striker as well. Someone that sits a little bit deeper than Callum Wilson would. I spoke about Youri. People have said that I'm deluded for that, but he's coming towards the end of his career. Yes, wages might be high, but I honestly think someone like that, I don't think it's far-fetched to go and get someone like him personally. That being said, if it's not him, someone like Troy Deeney, that sort of player, or give Gale more opportunities. I'm not sure why Gale isn't being played more, to be honest, but definite positions that need shoring up. Centre midfield, 2 full-backs. Hopefully we can kick on. On to Arsenal in the FA Cup.
Yeah, on Arsenal in the FA Cup. So that was Carl's thoughts on which areas that need strengthened. Obviously, you've just heard mine before that as well. So back to the game. The goals that we conceded were preventable. They really were. Obviously, they're very similar type of goals. Obviously, the first one where Harvey Barnes goes past both Longstaffs with ease. For me, there's 2 things you need to do here. Take a yellow card, stop it because they're on the flyer. And when Harvey Barnes gets to the byline, everyone's just attracted to the ball. And then the ball is cut back. And one of those midfielders, Sean and Matty, that's one of their men. I don't know who it is. But one of them is at fault there for not picking up James Maddison on the edge of the box. It's a great finish. 1-0 Leicester. So you can pick your faults there. Who's at fault for there? Let us know in the comments on that one. The second one take a look at that one as well. We'll talk about it. Sorry, is Tielemans one is it's quite similar. It's very similar how the ball is on the right hand side. The ball is then cut back because everybody's anticipating the cross to come in. That doesn't happen. The ball is pulled back, and you've got to say it's a brilliant finish, a wonderful finish in that corner. No qualms about Darlow. Brilliant finish into the side of the net. But that Shelvey's man who's only been on the pitch, 5 minutes? Shelvey's got to trace him. Shelvey's got to bust a gut. And that's a problem that General Shelvey has been accused of a lot lately, that he doesn't work hard enough for the team. He'll obviously disagree, but there's 2 goals here that were at fault individually. I'm not putting the blame on Steve Bruce because of those goals. They're individual attitudes and performances of individual players. Sometimes the players also have to look as well as the manager. It's not all on Bruce. That may be an attitude thing. I don't know. But then again, you could flip that and say, well, if the attitude, surely the manager's got to sort the attitude out. So it can go around. Let me know again what you think on that. So you're 2-0 down. You're thinking, I actually generally thought that was it. That's game over. I thought, nah, that's it. But to be fair, you did make the Shelvey change and the Murphy change early, granted. But for me, as I talked about Wilson earlier on, the chances that we're sliding across the 6-yard box, those crosses, that for me, I've said it already, is that's where you need Wilson. Or if you don't have Wilson, where's your other striker in that box? That's perfect for Dwight Gale. I know Andy Carroll came on, and that's the big positive to come out of today, is that Andy Carroll scored his first goal since coming back to the club, which you have to say, he took it absolutely brilliantly. You look how many bodies are there on the volley, and you think, okay, you've got 10 minutes left, let's go long. We've got big Andy up there. I just think we didn't utilise Andy Carroll as much. Now he's up there. Now you've got 2 strikers in the box. Personally, although Andy Carroll did score, I would have chosen Dwight Gale to come on, but Bruce got it right. You brought Carroll on, but overall, the football going forward, even the lads at Sky were heavily criticising the performances of the lads going forward. Roy Keane was having none of it because it was really, really poor. And it's not the first time that we've felt like that at fans, that the football isn't great. I know we're against a side that has much more talent than us, plays for the manager. You can clearly see that from Leicester side. Leicester are a fabulous team to watch on the eye, and I'm envious of that because that's how I want to watch my team. I want to watch my Newcastle United. I want to go, God, we played well today. And we haven't said that enough this season. We're coming up to almost halfway through the season now, and there's only 2 games that I can recall that we played well. 2, 3, if you want to include the 7-0 rout of a League 2 team, granted. But overall, we are struggling. I think a couple of bodies could lift the morale of the squad, but I still think you need to get rid of a couple as well, because we're 20, 25-man squad is currently full at the moment. League table. So this is the up-to-date league table. I'll just take that ticker off the bottom. Newcastle are dropping a bit, aren't we now? Look at Burnley, man. Burnley only 3 points behind us with a game in hand. So you've just got to keep an eye out on Fulham, and Fulham have got to. If Fulham win their game in hand, that's 5 points. 5 points. Even if Sheffield United were to beat us, I think Sheffield United are down anyways. I know there's a couple of people talking on social media that the year Derby went down and nicked 4 points off, where that'll happen with Sheffield United. But we've got the FA Cup against Arsenal, so we can take a bit of a breather from it. Look, I think we'll get put out, if I'm being brutally honest. I'm sorry to be sound negative, but going back to the Sheffield United game, if we get beat off Sheffield United, I don't think it'll keep Sheffield United up, as I say. But the morale destroying, if we get put out the FA Cup by Arsenal, that's 7 games. And then if we get beat off Sheffield United, that's 8 games. My camera's inside slant. So that means I'll have to as well when I come back on screen. It's a better slant down so you can see it a bit. I am a little bit worried, but look, it's Bruce. It's like copy and paste all the time. It really is. And we do know, as my camera decides to die on us. So we do know that Bruce is, well, we end in the video anyways. Let's have a look at your comments. Apologies that my screens went blank, but this is what happens when you go live. Ollie says, better not play 5 at the back against Arsenal. Sheffield United are down. Yes, they can't score. They are useless. Ben says, we're so scared going forward. It's unreal. We have been sitting back for too long. It's getting us frustrated. We need players that are brave. I think 3 players are needed in. Yedlin was basically walking back for the first goal. Unacceptable. Giroud would never come to Newcastle. That's in reference to Carl's video a little bit earlier. Tavernier would never leave that Rangers side for a club like us with zero ambition. He used to be on the books, didn't he? We need to have a good transfer window, otherwise I don't see us staying up. Can't say Sheffield United. So say us losing. And Derby took us off 4 points as well, says Ollie. Because my cameras obviously went, we're going to end the video there. Rohan has the last say. If we don't win against Sheffield United, surely Ashton needs to realise that Bruce isn't good enough. Right then, okie dokie. So that is a wrap, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Go back and watch all the other videos if you can. Ta-da, watch it today. Bye-bye.